In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can make one of the best thumbnails for YouTube videos or YouTube content or online content creation completely for free in Adobe Photoshop. Alright, once you have Adobe Photoshop opened, you want to drag your image in. Once you have your image, resize and rescale it so it fits. In this case, I like to resize and rescale the image a little bit larger, and I'll show you guys why in here in a sec. Click the check mark. The next step in making one of the best thumbnails for YouTube or content creation is click Filter, and click Blur and Gaussian Blur. So I like to blur this, and here are the settings. You can do 10, 20, or 30 pixels. I like 30 pixels. Then click OK. The next step is to go to Image and Adjustments, Brightness and Contrast, but we'll mess with this a little bit later. Next step is to click T on your keyboard to add a text. Click and drag across the screen and type in your text. And then the next step is to click Ctrl T and resize or rescale your text so it fits more on the screen. The next step is to click Ctrl J, because this will copy the text. Double click on the screen. Type in whatever you want. Click Ctrl J one more time. So now we have our text. It's looking not too bad. We have the background, which is blurred, and we have our text, but it's kind of hard to see the text for the most part. So what we will do is edit our text. We will right click on the text under layers, go to blending options, and then I like to add a bevel, a contour, and a texture. See how it kind of adds this cool looking effect? And then I also like to add an inner shadow and a drop shadow. Now these are the settings for bevel and emboss, contour, texture, inner shadow, and then drop shadow. Feel free to replay the video or take a screenshot. And then we're going to apply this with our other texts. Bevel, contour, texture, inner shadow, drop shadow, and then our last text. So far this is looking pretty great for a YouTube thumbnail. We can see that our image is blurred a little bit and we have text on the screen. And so far it's filling most of the frame, which is what we want. Honestly speaking, we could just export this and call it good, but we're like 50% there, at least for me, because I like to make this as professional and good looking. One thing we could do is click on our image and we go to Adjustments and Brightness. I typically like to have the brightness down, and I like to bring up the contrast to emphasize the image. And notice what that does. It makes the image a little bit more dark, but it also brings out the text. And this looks a little bit better, or more better in my opinion. What the next thing we want to do is we want to make the text 3D. So this is one of the most important things. This is what has really changed. But before we do that, I'm going to change this text, and we're going to add a different color. I like usually color green for the most part, so that our text stands out, as you can see. And this is looking much better so far. Alright, next we go to our text, Control T, up, left, and then now click Control Shift Alt T. And notice what that does. Do that a couple more times. Maybe 10 times. Actually, maybe 12 times. And notice that our text now looks a little bit different. See the before. And then see the after. And then basically scroll down under the layers panel like this while your text is still selected, and then hold down Shift and click the original text so it highlights everything, and then right click and click Convert to Smart Object. Now notice that the shadow has gone away, as you saw the before and then the after. So go over and then right click the text, the new text, blending options. I typically like to add another drop shadow, and then bevel again, contour, and text. So you can see now the before and then the after. It looks so much better, as we can see right now. So I'll rinse and repeat the process for this text. Remember, Control T, up, left, click Enter, or click the check mark, and then Control Shift and Alt on your keyboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'd say 12 is the magic number. As you can see, this looks really, really insanely good. And then click the text, drag all the way down, scroll all the way down, layers panel, Shift, click, right click, Convert to Smart Object. Takes away the shadow a little bit. Right click, blending options, bevel, emboss, contour, texture again, drop shadow. I actually forgot to add an inner shadow, and then click Enter, and we'll do the same thing for tutorial. Okay, so now since we're almost done here, again, bevel, contour, texture, enter shadow, drop shadow. Now, this is what this looks like. Notice a massive difference from the before and in the after. This already looks YouTube thumbnail viral worthy, like you're making a Mr. Beast video, a Tommy Innit video, any video you can think of. It looks like the Minecraft text for crying out loud. We got the 3D popping out. And honestly, we could even export this, or we can add something else. Okay, so the final touches to making one of the best YouTube thumbnails in game, in my opinion, in 2024, whether you're making thumbnails for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, etc., social media. The final touches is you want to scroll up, click the top of your video layer, and then click Control, Shift, Alt, and then E. As you can see, it created a layer, which is basically everything now into one image. Click Ctrl and J on your keyboard, so it duplicates or copies the layer, and then go under Filter, Other, High Pass, and then 2 pixels. And then under the Layers tab, click this, change this to Overlay. So as we can see, it just adds a little bit of a sharpen. It's not quite noticeable, but it looks a little bit better. And then click our layer over here, go under Camera Raw Filter, and then we get this window right here. Then just follow some of the settings. 10, 0.33, 50, negative 50, 10, 25, 25, negative 25. Then for vibrance, I like 30, and then sharpen, saturation, around like 20. And click OK. So notice the difference of the before and then the after. It kind of adds that warm, nice tone, and it looks a little bit more professional. And then the last step I usually like to add is I go under Filter, and then I go under Noise, add Noise, and then 15%. And this is the before, and then the after. There you have it. Those are how I create my YouTube thumbnails for the most part. This is the before of what we started. Not too shabby, but, pretty basic. And then this is the after. Feel free to skip this video or replay it multiple times. If you did enjoy value, drop this video a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. I love you guys. Take care, and stay safe out there.